The great scientist you see on the screen is none other than Albert Einstein. It is said that he was the smartest person in the world in this modern era who could use up to 25% of his brain. Yes, you heard right, only 25%. And you know how much percentage the ignorant public like us can use? Only 10%. So think about it. If someone could use 100% of our brain, what level of intelligence would he have become? Where people are turning the world upside down by using only 10% to 15%, what would happen if it were 100% is beyond imagination. However, a story happened in the life of this girl named Lucy, due to which her brain became 100% active. After that, she started creating such unimaginable stories, which will make you go crazy when you see it. Now the question is, how did she get this power? And to what level did Lucy take herself with it? I have come to answer all these questions with my very favorite movie, Lucy's Explanation. So let's start today's movie explanation by giving the video a like. At the beginning of the movie, we see this young woman named Lucy. Lucy is an ordinary girl who is quite worried about her future. Currently, Lucy has this boy named Richard in her life, who has been dating her for the past 7 days. So, one day, Richard gives Lucy a mysterious briefcase and tells her to go to the hotel with a little difficulty and deliver it to a man named Mr. Zhang. He is said to be unable to deliver it himself due to some special difficulty. Hearing all this, Lucy starts to get suspicious. She wants to know, "First tell me, what's inside this briefcase?" In response, Richard keeps trying to convince her, which makes Lucy even more suspicious. And this time, she completely refuses to do this job. But this time, Richard lures her by offering her $1,000. But when Lucy still couldn't get through, he cleverly tied the briefcase to Lucy's hand and said, "Now you have to deliver this no matter what, because only Mr. Zhang has the key to these handcuffs." Seeing this scene, Lucy was very scared. She realized that she was trapped with him in a very bad way. So she forced herself to go inside the hotel and started looking for Mr. Zhang. Then the receptionist called Mr. Zhang and asked him to come down. But this time, a terrible thing happened. Mr. Zhang's men came and shot Richard first. Seeing this scene, Lucy was completely terrified. Before she could understand anything, the men dragged Lucy to a room. Inside this room, she saw Mr. Zhang, who was busy killing 2 people in a cold mine. Seeing blood everywhere, Lucy started praying in her mind. Meanwhile, Mr. Zhang didn't know English, so he called a translator and started talking to Lucy. First, Zhang asks her, "What's in this briefcase?" Lucy replies, "Brother, I really don't know what's in here." But Zhang doesn't believe her at all, so he writes down the password of this briefcase and asks her to open it. Now if there's a bomb in it, then Lucy is all finished here. Now with that password, Zhang and his companions start waiting outside. Seeing all this, Lucy also realizes that she has reached in the dead end of her life. But now she has nothing to do. She couldn't even imagine that her 7-day love would bring her to this death game. So she is forced to open the briefcase with that password. And then she sees that there is no bomb or tome there. Rather, what is there is something blue in it. Zhang asks her from a distance, "What's in this briefcase?" Lucy says, "Something blue in color." And hearing this, Zhang returns to the room with a smile. Now Mr. Zhang brings a heroin addict there. Then he asks him to inhale just a few drops of that blue chemical. Now when that person inhales that chemical, this dead man seems to be completely recharged. Seeing all this, Mr. Zhang realizes that Richard did not deceive him. He brought him the original CPH4 drug. Yes, the name of this drug is CPH4, which is said to be 1,000 times more powerful drug than cocaine. Anyway, seeing all this, Lucy thinks that her work is over. Maybe she will be released now. But Zhang tells her, "No, you scorpion girl. You still have a lot of work to do." And saying this, he knocks her unconscious for a new... After being knocked out, Lucy wakes up unconscious the next day. Now she wakes up and sees that her stomach is bandaged. Lucy thinks that these mafias may have taken out her kidneys and sold them in the market. But this idea is proven wrong when a top-level surgeon tells her everything. The doctor tells her, "We didn't steal your kidneys or any organ. We just put a packet of CPH4 drugs in your lower abdomen. Don't worry, I sewed it up very well so that there is no scar on your stomach. In fact, CPH4 drugs were so dangerous that they could not be smuggled like normal drugs." So not only Lucy, many such people were smuggled all over the world by cutting their stomachs and inserting those drugs into their stomachs. And with this method, they would have no chance of being caught at the airport. That means now Lucy will also have to do this job under duress. They also inform that, if they tell the police about these things, then their entire families will be wiped away from the world. So Mr. Jank ordered them to quietly do as they are told and earn money. Meanwhile, in another scene, a scientist named Samuel Norman is seen giving a lecture at a seminar on the capacity of the human brain. Dr. Samuel says humans can only use 4 to 5% of their brains well, and at most, 10%. That means that at the beginning of civilization, when humans first learned to light a fire, everything we have achieved in modern science today has been done using this 10% of the brain. That means the whole world is running with only 10% of the brain. Hearing these words, everyone present there seems to become very curious. And just as curious, one of them asks, well, if humans could use this 100% of the brain, what would they do? However, scientist Samuel cannot answer this question, because what a person can do if they use their brain 100% is beyond his imagination. Anyway, let's get back to Lucy. In the meantime, Lucy is taken to a secret hideout, where they will be held captive tonight, and the next day they will be sent to a European country. But here, an unexpected incident happens. Since Lucy is the only girl in the entire smuggler group, the goons there want to have sex with her. So when a goon comes to her to satisfy his needs, Lucy gets scared and pushes him away. But when this incident hits on his male ego, he becomes mad. And immediately he kicks Lucy in the stomach with 2 kicks. But now a different level of story begins. With this terrible blow, the drug packet that was in Lucy's stomach bursts. And from there, the drugs start spreading throughout her body. Just think, a man had gone from dead to fresh a while ago after eating just 1 gram of CPH4. But now these drugs weighing 1 kilogram start spreading throughout Lucy's body. So now Lucy's whole body starts to look like a monster. Her eyes start to burst out. And because of the amount of drugs that enter her body at once, Lucy starts floating in the air, like Superman. This means that Lucy might get blasted and die right now. So whatever happens, happens. Now let's go back to Dr. Norman again. Here he also says, if a person can use 40% of his brain, he can control other people. He will even have control over iron, water, earth, air. That is, he will get the power to move everything with just a blink of an eye if he wants. In addition, he will also gain the power to scan a person's entire body with his eyes. However, let's go back to Lucy's story again. And coming back here, we see that Lucy has now become completely calm, but her eyes have already turned blue. You can understand, these drugs have already activated her brain by 30%. That means that Lucy may not even know what story she will create now. Just as the goon was about to take her on, Lucy started showing off her tricks. She killed him in the blink of an eye and walked out with his gun. Then she shot all 3 of them in the head in a Sigma style. That means aim and calculation is no longer a big deal for Lucy. It feels like a hacker is shooting everyone in the head in a video game. But is that all? Lucy had a bullet in her body, but it turns out that she was able to pull the bullet out of her body with her own hands. Then, after eating her fill, she left for the hospital. However, while going to the hospital, she noticed that she could hear everyone in the distance clearly from the car. She could hear everything that people were saying on their mobile phones, even if she didn't want to hear it. Also, her brain has now become active to such a level that she can translate all languages live with her own eyes. My God, just think, if the human brain is that much powerful with just 30%, then if it becomes more active, what game will not happen? Now, Lucy goes straight to the operation theater, where a brain tumor patient was undergoing surgery. However, as soon as Lucy gets here, starts looking strangely at the CT scan of that person, and the next moment she shoots the patient dead with her gun. Hey, what's the story? Seeing this scene, a patient faints in fear. Then Lucy tells another doctor that there is a drug in my stomach, which is leaking repeatedly, so quickly take it out of my stomach. And yes, I killed this patient because the condition of his brain was such that you could not save him, even if you tried 1,000 times. You can understand what that means. Lucy's brain has already become so powerful that she can do such analysis with her bare eyes that it is not possible even with modern equipment. However, when the doctor is about to cut open his stomach and take out those drugs, Lucy calls her mother right then. Now Lucy tells her mother in a tearful voice that she can feel everything. She can feel the world spinning, or the blood flowing through her body, all this. She also remembers the time of her birth. Lucy can remember everything that happened to her from the second after her birth. That means Lucy's brain is no longer an ordinary brain. Her brain has become a reservoir of superpowers. Then when the doctor is able to remove the drugs from her stomach, it is seen that about 500 grams of drugs have already been mixed into her body. Here when the doctor wants to know what drugs it is, Lucy says that it is CPH4. Then the doctor is completely shocked. He says that it is a huge miracle that you are still alive with this amount of drugs. He also starts saying that when a girl gets pregnant, only a few milligrams of this CPH4 are produced in the human body to provide power to her fetus. Now, With the power of a few grams of CPH4, everything including the human heart, brain, etc. is made. Just think, this chemical is so powerful. Anyway, Lucy then went out to give Mr. Chang his lesson. But as soon as she went out, what she saw blew her mind. Lucy's brain had become so powerful that she could now see the photosynthesis of plants with her bare eyes. That means she could now see the life that even plants have. You can understand that Lucy had gone to a spiritual level. Right after that, Lucy went straight to Mr. Chang, and there she put 2 knives in both his hands and said, "What happened to me has badly cost you a lot. Now my brain has become so active that I can destroy your world." Then Lucy wants to know which countries he sent the rest of the people to for smuggling. Now that Mr. Chang doesn't want to say that, Lucy puts 2 fingers on his forehead, and now she finds out from Chang's brain memory cells which countries everyone has gone to. My lord, as time goes by, Lucy seems to be becoming more dangerous. However, after that, Lucy goes to her best friend's house. And when Lucy hugs her there, she can feel something strange. In fact, if someone touches her, Lucy can now understand if they have a disease or not. After that, Lucy starts doing some research on her laptop. Watch Lucy's computer operation here. She starts reading all the data from the internet at such a speed that she can finish all the research in the whole world in an instant. While doing this research, she finds Dr. Norman. Then she reads all the research he has written about the human brain in a few seconds and calls him. Now when Lucy tells her, "I have memorized all your research," he can't help but laugh. Also, Norman starts thinking that someone might have called him as a prank. But when Lucy tells him which page of a book some lines of his research are on, Norman's eyes start to bulge. Here Lucy clearly reveals that 40% of her brain cells have become active due to a drug. And she tells Norman everything that has happened to Lucy in the last few hours. Norman doesn't want to believe it at first. But when Lucy shows up on Norman's TV screen with her brain power, he is completely shocked. That means Lucy can now control any electronic device if she wants. Now she says, "Now I don't feel any pain. Also, I don't have any desires inside me. I have even studied everything from quantum physics to nuclear science in my brain." Hearing all this, Dr. Samuel is completely surprised. Then he thinks that he could never have imagined that his entire life's research would become real in front of him. Then Lucy said, "Maybe I will unlock my brain 100%. But I understand that I may not be able to live more than 24 hours. So what should I do in this situation?" Then the doctor told her, "When you know that you are close to the end time, then you should leave the knowledge within you for future people. This may be the duty of a person who wants to take human civilization and science further." Hearing all this, Lucy agreed to his words and decided that she would meet the doctor and give him all her research. Now it's her turn to go. But before going out, Lucy gave her friend a prescription and said, "Take these medicines regularly, because your kidney condition is not good." So you can understand, Lucy has already figured out everything that is wrong with her body. However, after that, Lucy went out to find those smugglers. Meanwhile, the news of a mysterious golden-haired woman has gone viral in the whole country, because of which all the police in the city are looking for Lucy. That's why Lucy now turns her golden hair black to hide everyone's eyes. I mean, you understand, now she has the power to change her body if she wants. However, this time she calls a police officer named Rio, and he sends him the details of all her smugglers in the blink of an eye. Then Lucy tells them that they have drugs in their stomachs, and quickly arrest them to get them out. Seeing Lucy's powerful research here, the police officer is completely crazy. So now, after receiving her reports, the police are able to arrest all the smugglers from different countries one by one. Meanwhile, when Lucy was flying on the plane, she suddenly noticed that her teeth were falling out of her mouth. Also, her face was slowly starting to fade. Seeing all this, she realized that the reaction of those drugs was already ending, and because of that, she was also disappearing from the world. As a result, at this moment, she will have to take that drug again in her body no matter what. Meanwhile, everyone is completely shocked to see Lucy in such a state. Then Lucy goes to the washroom and takes all the remaining drugs she has. Right then, a beam of light comes out of Lucy's entire body, and she seems to be disturbed. However, after a while, Lucy is seen lying in a hospital bed, and her eyes are taking on the shape of other animals every second. From here, we understand that Lucy's brain is already 50% active. This time, Lucy is seen in a more terrifying form. When the police come to arrest her, Lucy makes everyone unconscious with just a gesture of her hand. Also, when she takes out all the bullets from Inspector Rio's gun with just a gesture of her eyes, the guy is completely stunned. Now Lucy calms down and asks him, "Where are the rest of the CPH4? Because Lucy says that these drugs will be safe with her. But the real story is that Lucy understands that she will need these drugs to survive. So she wants to take them. However, when Rio tells her all the drugs are kept in Paris, Lucy takes him with her to retrieve the drugs. This time she goes outside and shows another strange ability. Upon discovering it, Lucy finds that she can now hear all the waves of the mobile phone. She can easily find out who is talking to whom on the phone. Just like that, Lucy finds out that Chang's people have already reached Paris to snatch the drugs. Meanwhile, after learning this story, Lucy herself drives crazy and runs towards the hospital where all the smugglers are being operated on. My lord, the style in which Lucy drives in this scene will make your blood run cold. Chang's people have already arrived at the hospital and started attacking and extracting the CPH-4 from all the smugglers. However, Lucy also reaches there shortly after, and this time she starts showing her level of power. Lucy starts blowing everyone away with her brain signals, and in this way, she takes the drugs from them without any fight and leaves to meet. Then, when Lucy has a meeting with the doctor introduces her to the rest of the scientists. Here Norman says that she has already used 60% of his brain, so she can do whatever she wants now. Hearing all this, when a scientist asks her to show a demo, Lucy puts her hand on his shoulder and says, "Your daughter died in a car accident." When Lucy even tells him the license plate of the car, everyone believes that Lucy is not lying. Now Lucy starts saying, "Although human civilization began 4,000 years ago, no one has been able to use more than 10% of their brain power until now. But I have accidentally opened up about 70% of my brain. There is nothing in this world that I cannot enter, or whose knowledge I do not have. The structure of our body, these muscles, all these are made of tiny particles. In reality, they do not exist on their own." Then Norman and other scientists sit with Lucy at a large table. Norman requests her to share with us all the knowledge that you have inside you. Then Lucy said that in order to activate her 100% brain, she would have to take all the remaining drugs into her body. However, by then, Chang's team had arrived here to take these drugs. So Inspector Yo came out to catch them, and Lucy started injecting all the drugs into her body. Then, a cosmic event happened when this high amount of drugs entered Lucy's body. Immediately, flashes of light started coming out of Lucy's body, and she seemed to become a different existence. Meanwhile, the police and Chang's people started a destructive fighting. On one side, Chang's forces were rampaging, and on the other side, the mission to achieve 100% of Lucy's brain was going on. Believe me, those who have seen this movie will be able to relate to what an extraordinary moment was going on here. Now, when Lucy's brain was slowly approaching 100%, an object-line venom started coming out of her body, and it started crushing all the supercomputers in the lab. Although the scientists were scared to see this, Norman said that Lucy is integrating all the data inside herself with the help of this computer. Then a scene from this movie was shown that shocked me completely. When Lucy's brain started to become active, she started to beat time. Lucy can now go anywhere in the world if she wants. In this way, she reaches the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Then she instantly goes to Times Square in New York. Here, Lucy stops the time on Earth. And after that, she starts scrolling back in time. This scene shows what this New York City was like 100 years ago. In this way, Lucy goes back in time to the era of the Red Indians, where some Red Indian hunters come in front of her. Then she takes time back even further to the age of dinosaurs, which we have only read about in books. Then from the age of dinosaurs, Lucy goes even further back and sees an ape-man, whom scientists consider to be the first incarnation of human. Lucy seems to be looking into the eyes of the universe as she sees all this. But is that all? Then Lucy goes back hundreds of light years. She runs deeper into space. Lucy goes to the very beginning of the universe, which means in scientific terms, the Big Bang. This is the Big Bang from which this entire universe began. That means Lucy has acquired all the knowledge from the beginning to the end of the entire world during this entire time, which no human has been able to do until now. At that very moment, when Chang came to kill her, Lucy's brain became 100% active, and she disappeared from that place in an instant. That means Lucy is no longer human. She has become a time or a thing which does not have a physical existence. Meanwhile, Rio arrives and kills Zhang, and this is where the most iconic event of the movie happens. Lucy stores all her knowledge on a special pen drive and forwards it to Dr. Norman. This is the pen drive, which contains all the knowledge of the world. As soon as Dr. Norman takes the pen drive, Lucy's existence disappears from the world forever. And from here, the doctor realizes that Lucy is now mixed with time, and she is present everywhere like a divine force. This deadly level movie ends here with just such